What's up guys, welcome back to Wednesdays with Wes. Today I'm going to show you how to make a 4th of July Jello poke cake. Let's get into it. Long intro aside, today's recipe is going to show you how to make a 4th of July themed Jello cake. Let's get into it. Your first ingredient is that you're going to need some cake mix or cake that you've already made before. I'm going to use this cake mix for the purpose of this video, and when you're making the cake, you'll need to use just plain egg whites, which I am going to show you how to make in a few seconds. As you can see here, I now have an egg. You're going to crack it on a flat surface until it has just a little bit of crack in it. Just like that. Then you're going to press in with your thumbs in order to open the egg. It's okay if it drips a little bit, but get it into a bowl over where you can put all your egg whites. Make sure the yolk is in one half of the egg shell, or else you might mess this process up. Shake out the egg white until enough drops out, and then keep swapping it between the eggshells until you finally get all the white stuff out. It is okay if you get a tiny bit of yolk in there, but try not to get a lot of it in there. And then, bada bang bada boom, you are done. Yay! Next ingredient you will need is whipped cream. This will go on top of the cake so you can put berries on it. For this 4th of July themed cake, I'm going to be using strawberries and blueberries as the flag decorations and the white as the back white stripes. Berries. And the last ingredient you're going to need is some Jello. I'm going to use cherry because it's red, like the red and white blue flag. The first step is to make your cake. Now, specifically, you want to use a white cake mix. Just prepare like it says on the box, and then I'll show you what mine turned out to look like. A finished product cake should look like this, and let it cool for about 30 minutes before you start the next steps. After your beautiful cake has perfectly cooled, take it off the rack, and you're going to get yourself a wooden spoon. A perfectly good spoon like this should do just fine. What you're going to want to do is take the bottom of the spoon and then poke holes about a ½ inch away from each other in the cake, as so. Poke, 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 poke. That's why it's called a poke cake. So there's some knowledge for you.
Poke, poke, poke.
Stabbing a cake.
Poke, 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 pokety poke.
And then boom, you are pretty much ready for the next Jello step. Here's a perfectly good example of what perfect boiling water looks like. When your water is perfectly boiling, take it off the burner and pour it into a Pyrex cup like this. Make sure you have exactly 1 cup of water. Just like that. It's always good to add a little extra beforehand in case some evaporates. And then add your Jello mix as so. And then you can mix it around with the whisk to fully blend it all together. To make sure the gelatin has perfectly dissolved, look on the bottom and then you'll be able to see if any gelatin particles are still left. Mine doesn't seem to have any particles left, and so now we're going to pour it over the cake. And then pour the gelatin mix over the cake evenly so that all the holes will get filled with the gelatin mix. Just like so. Make sure that every hole gets filled with a little bit of gelatin mix. And then make sure to perfectly put it evenly around the whole entire cake. Try to get it all red if you can. And then boom. And then all you gotta do is just set it in the fridge for a couple of hours to chill with a convenient rubber or plastic wrap covering. The first thing you can do is like and subscribe to see more content like this from my channel. After 2 hours, take a cake out of the fridge and see if it's ready. You can tell it's ready if there's any liquid left in the holes. If there is, put it back in the fridge for 30 minutes. If not, you're ready for the next step of putting toppings on the cake. Flushed your berries, you're pretty much all ready to cut. Now, the next step is to cut your strawberries. You can cut them in halves, quarters, however you want. I'm going to cut them in quarters, but please be careful with the knife because they are very dangerous. They magically all cut. And now it's time for the final part of the cake. Put in the Cool Whip on top. So, first, you want to grab a spoon, just like this. And you want to get your Cool Whip on like a nice giant dollop like that. See that? And that's about the size you want. Then you just go. There. You want to grab 2 more of those and put it in the center and on the other side. So, oop, that's pretty good. And if you want to add a little bit more, because Cool Whip is delicious, add a little bit more. There we go. That's enough Cool Whip. Cool Whip. Now, resist the temptation to lick the spoon until afterward, because you might get germs all over the place, especially during this time of COVID. Now we have this icing spreader. And then what you're going to want to do is when you want to like start right here, just spread it out evenly. Up and down, up and down.
Up and down.
Until it gets all over the cake. Up and down. The reason why I made this cake was because my grandmother loves to make this cake and it kind of reminds me of her. I actually asked her if I could use her recipe and she said yes. Thanks, Grammy.
Keep on spreading it.
Looks like I need some more Cool Whip. Let's add some more. Put you right there. Stay.
Yeah.
Aww, the perfectly Cool Whipped cake. You're now at the final step. Putting the berries on the cake. Now, do not put the berries on the cake until you're pretty much ready to serve this, because the strawberries might dye the Cool Whip red, and we don't want that to happen. First, you want to take your blueberries, these beautifully washed blueberries, and we're trying to put them in like a 4 or a 6x7 pattern on top of the cake, like 1, 2, 3, 4. You want to keep them kind of close together. 5, 6, and then that's the stars and stripes part of the flag. And then we are done with the blueberries. Now it's time to add the strawberries. Now, in the way you cut them, I cut mine in 4, so you're just kind of trying to want to like pretty much interlap the strawberries triangle parts, and you want to start by doing like a top, so you want to do the bottom, then the top row, then second to bottom, then second to top, until you finally reach the middle. Remember, there are 7 red stripes. Like so. You just want to keep overlapping the triangles until you have the perfect red stripe. And here go the last 2. 1 and 2. And voila! Your cake is finished and it's ready to serve.